Mike Taylor Live is presented by Texas Cheer Liquor. Live from San Antonio, Mike Taylor.
Dang it, I got caught. LG gave me the warning, and I'm doing this as we come on, so that's fine. It's us. How you boys doing, man? We're back again. Jump in here to the chat with us and join the super chat, which costs you just a nickel or two, and join the free chat. You can jump on to that, the hell is it? buymeacoffee.com/Mike Taylor Live. That's what it is. It's been a couple of weeks. Well, we're back in the room and we're normal again. Puma's here. And last week he was on staycation and didn't come into work, but we had Maka on from UTSA. I thought that went pretty good, LG. Some pretty good feedback from people over there at UTSA. So that's good having dudes on. And so here we go, man. It's Taylor, presented by Texas Cheer Liquor, the official title sponsor of this damn show, and we appreciate it very much. Texas Cheer Liquor, they got 9 locations in town. They've been hyping up that big appearance by those guys that were in the Green Beret, the Army guys. That's pretty sweet. The guys that started their own bourbon, which is cool. They're going to be doing a signing. Gosh. And they're going to do, I bet he has them in 2 or 3 times a year. He's got like this relationship now with these guys, Mr. Singh does. And I bet they're back on our show in 2023, provided LG doesn't get tired of doing our show and lets us do it. So here we are. It's Mike Taylor. Samuel Adon Freese is in the room. So just to welcome Sam back to work, I'll pop open a Houston Astros themed Crawford Bock beer.
Okay.
Get drinking. Purchased at one of the 9 Texas Cheer Liquor locations in and around the San Antonio, Texas greater area. How about that?
Their event is tonight, by the way. It's actually going on right now.
Yeah, that's right. Right now. It's tonight. Yeah, I don't know why I got my days mixed up. It's going on right now. That's pretty badass. I'll tell Singh to send me some video or some audio or something. Let me text Singh. Talk
See if we can't get some evidence of the events
Puma.
out there tonight. No, it's
Send pics.
you talking about your Maka interview? I watched it last week.
Yeah, Puma listened to the radio show all week too and texted
Yeah.
me the whole time.
I did. Yeah.
I'm surprised you didn't text me during the Maka interview. I'm like, dude, just get to work.
Well, I didn't know if it was live or canned. Whenever I was watching, I actually didn't watch that one live. I watched it.
I don't can jack
Thursday.
shit. What you talking about?
No, I watched that one Thursday.
I used to can stuff when I first was in radio. When I was at ESPN Radio, the first program director that I ever had, and at that station, Scott Masteller, was big on canning shit. But we did it so where the listener had no idea ever.
Sure.
And I felt
That's the goal.
it didn't feel well. Yeah, it didn't feel organic though, and I wasn't good enough in those days to do it. Now though, I can mail in all this shit. Who's to say I'm not? This isn't a canned tape right now.
I will say, talking about that Crawford balk, it was really nice being off last week and not having to react to a Houston Astros World Series victory on the
missed a
radio
shit
show.
ton.
I missed a lot.
You missed Josh Primo dong picks.
Yeah, that's
not
picks,
dong picks. I wish we'd get
just
them.
Josh Primo's dong.
Yeah, Josh Primo's dong talk. You missed Maka's interview, and you missed our Astros winning the championship yet again.
Yeah, I thought when I took a week off during the NFL season on the Cowboys bye week, I would be pretty safe in terms of content. But alas,
But hey, man, every day there's a new news cycle. We'll have goal before the week's over, as we've already had.
it's a 15-minute news cycle now.
Yeah, no shit. Shout out to the Gamblers. We didn't win the title, man. We fell short and sucks. But the cool part is, well, they went all the way to the championship round, and they lasted to Saturday because they had the bye. Damn, that sucks. But a hell of a season by the Austin Gamblers. So that also went on this weekend while you were away. And I talked to JJ last week, the CEO, hyping the event. And it was a good run by them. They were the first seed. They had the MVP of the league, and they will be back. God dang it. I like it. I like that they were the number one seed, were really, really good, but did not win the title because that gives them motivation to carry on. It keeps the storyline, keeps the journey going. You know what I mean?
Sure,
the process, the enjoyable journey. Had they won it in the first year, it'd have been like, meh, you already won already. Now it gives you something. You have pain in your heart.
Just ask the 113-win Seattle Mariners team from the early 2000s how they feel about, oh, yeah, we were the best team. We'll be back next year. We'll get it. We'll be right back to this level of performance.
Gamblers will. So,
Well, the Gamblers will because they have the best bull rider in the world on their roster.
Shout out to Crawford Bach. I guess this is made in Shiner, Texas, too, right? Isn't it? I'm assuming that.
Oh, that's Houston.
Houston.
Carbach's Houston.
Oh, you're right. Fuck. I forgot. I didn't even read the Carbach.
Carbach, yeah.
I just saw the Crawford Bach, forgot Carbach. Yeah, that is Houston's own Carbach. That's a sweet-ass cup, though.
That's a testament to Shiner's marketing ability over all these years.
I just assumed Shiner owned all Bachs.
All Bachs, exactly. That's to their credit.
Pretty badass. It's kind of like, hey,
why
man,
advertising works.
go in the store, you want something to drink? Yeah, grab me a Coke. Yeah, which kind you want? Dr. Pepper?
Dr. Pepper.
Okay, cool.
Give me a Sprite.
Well, I also wanted to say I've been reading this because I had to wait for Puma while he was running the Jeff Traylor show on the radio station we work for. And this is going to be the last Rolling Stone that I read for a long time. It's fucking terrible. This magazine is, just gratuitously, I don't know, throwing this up here. Probably no reason for it. It was in front of me, and I was talking to Puma about this earlier. I subscribed to this magazine probably at 10. I started a subscription and kept that subscription to this magazine until I was probably 45. But this thing went so haywire, this magazine, and I went ahead and picked up a copy. It was impulse buy, saw it on a rack somewhere. You rarely see this magazine for sale on racks. Saw it and impulsively bought it, and I'm 2/3 through it, and it's fucking terrible. What happened to this magazine? I don't think they're writing to me anymore, that's for sure.
I think what happened to the magazine was just the fact that
Harry Styles. That's your first problem.
no, there's
Put
no,
that little shithead on
again, like that's actually a perfect cover if that's
there. Do his
if they're
fans
trying
read
to
magazines?
well, that's what I'm thinking. That's what I'm saying is the evolution of the music media industry is one that has left magazines very, very far behind. I mean, the music blogs that I'm reading now at this point, they might still have a print magazine, but very rarely is that their main focus of publication.
Well, I'm going to use this magazine to segue into tonight's show. What happened to this magazine is, well, most of the music they discuss is terrible. Or I've just gotten, and I'm willing to admit that I've gotten too old for hip, cool, new music.
I think they've absolutely started to cater more to a more generic type of music, a more generic audience.
Well, thank you for backing.
They've thrown a much bigger net than they used to.
There's a shit ton of good new music. This magazine's just not covering it.
Right, but they're covering what's trending on TikTok and what YouTuber is putting out, or what music video is doing the biggest on YouTube.
Yeah, and notice they've also gone to like bi-monthly. They don't. This used to come out every 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Now it's like every other month or some shit.
Are there even magazines that still do bi-weekly publication?
Time
still does it? Are you sure?
Oh yeah, pretty sure.
Okay.
Yeah, Time.
I
does.
thought
They're
even
bi-weekly.
they went back to once a month.
Well, shit. Now you're messing with my head. I'm
Yeah,
not sure.
because I remember a lot of the big ones even now barely even do once a month, if not once a quarter.
I'm going to use this magazine to segue into tonight. What also happened to this magazine, because it's also a political magazine, and it always has been. This thing has become out of touch, ultra woke, ultra liberal, over the top, don't know jack shit about regular people, and it's ran me off. So, and it's boring, and they write about people I don't give a shit about, and they try to force the cool, because it's a bunch of old people probably, as you said, catering to the TikTok generation, and the politics are and they've always been liberal. Let's get that clear, but now it's just ultra liberal woke. Impossible world that this magazine wants that we're never going to have. And that's a man who is a moderate liberal talking right now to a couple of liberal communist heathens that I work with in DJLG and you. But you shook your head just now. This magazine's gone way over the top left.
Yeah, and I think
that's my take.
And that's where I say
that's what happened, and that's what's going on in this country a lot politically.
Well, and that's the wider net that they're trying to cast, is they are leaning ultra into these social norms that have been basically incubated online on social media. I mean, it's way less about the Southern rock band that's touring through Biloxi. I mean, you're not getting. I don't think you're never getting that era again. But I think you're absolutely onto something with the bending of the principles of that magazine to fit the current social society or the current social norms that we operate under. I think that is a massive. It's a massive pendulum that can swing too far one way or the other, because there's a lot of people that I don't think actually really mean half the things they say on social media or half the troll memes they put out there. Or I think a lot of it is because one part of our country has swung so far to being offended by so much. The extreme of that is I'm going to swing so far the other direction that I do as much offensive things as I can because I just want to own you, because I just want to make you mad. I want to I want to see you cry liberal tears. I think that's the massive. I mean, you describe it. Your metaphor of playing the radical wings of our two-party system playing tennis with each other, and the majority of the country is either the doubles partner standing with nothing to do at the front of the net, or a lot of people. I mean, hell, what was it? 50% of registered eligible voters in Bexar County didn't vote. I mean, those are the people. Those are the people that are sitting in the stands, or if at best watching the match on TV at their home and not participating. I mean, I think that's also a offset. That's also a condition that results from the radical wings playing tennis with each other. It creates a lot of apathy, and it makes a lot of people just tune out to the whole process.
I for years, you always hear, after every election, you hear, well, you didn't vote, I don't want to hear your opinion. No, fuck you. That's not true.
If you pay taxes, then you can have an opinion.
You're
you don't
right.
have to vote.
You're
you
damn
should,
right.
and I would try to influence you to do it every time. But no, if you're up to date on your taxes, let me hear your opinion.
I'd say this: never before has the person that does not vote been as defendable as that person now is, because the options are lame and it's one extreme or the other, and so many people have become apathetic. But that apathy was caused by the political spectrum that we live in, not them. The jackass person who doesn't care, will never watch the news, will never give a shit, doesn't want to know anything about any of how the sausage gets made in his life and how things have turned out the way they are. That guy just doesn't give a shit, and to hell with him. But I think there's so many people that probably have voted in their lives that this year just decided I don't care. Either way blows. I don't care anymore. Long as I'm happy, I got a decent job. I can take my wife on a date once a month. My kids are good. We get to eat 3 times a day. I'm functioning. I can get my bills paid. A lot of guys are in that boat and don't give 2 shits about politics, because politics is not worth giving a shit about in their mind.
Well,
now, you can debate whether or not it is unfortunate, but I have sympathy for apathy in this year.
Well, I think a lot of the people that say I don't give a shit about politics would probably tell you it's because politics doesn't give a shit about me.
Maybe, yeah.
Because the issues that actually affect me and the issues that I actually care about are the issues that don't scare people, that don't drive viewership numbers in your primetime cable news channels, that don't drive people to actually get to the polls.
That's a draw.
Based on a non-existent fear that is not supported by data. It's happening to, whatever the issue is, it's happening to 10 people in our entire state, but it's getting the coverage like it's happening to 10,000. And I think a lot of the manipulation of the narrative through our medias, whatever you're consuming, which again is why I would suggest not consuming any cable news whatsoever, and just trying to do trying to find the answers to the questions you're looking for on your own, and again with multiple sources, and not just believing the first link you click on. I think a lot of it, this could potentially come off as ageist or as an ageism based hypothesis, but I think there's a lot to put into the fact that, I taught my parents the internet. Like, my millennial generation taught their parents how to use the internet, taught their grandparents how to use the internet. All those people are still alive and voting age. Like, the digital and online literacy for every generation post mid 80s original birth year, there is absolutely, and not saying that you can't become literate and digitally literate like that, but I think there's a lot of people that have never necessarily been forced to consider the fact that what they're reading online might not be true. I mean, it's the long running joke of, I saw it on the internet, it must be true. It's like every stereotype, that's a stereotype and that's a joke and that's funny, because there's a large chunk of truth within that statement. And I think that's the bigger thing. You look at misinformation spreading online, it's not an issue with millennials and Zoomers. It's an issue with Gen X and Boomers. Like that.
Well, I mean, Stephen Miller, who sent me a thing in the mail the other day, calling my kid an abomination, is like 35 years old.
Right, and that's the example of...
You know who Stephen Miller is?
Yeah, the looks
piece
like
of shit former...
Looks like a Lizard King.
That guy, let's go with that. Lizard King.
Not the good kind of Lizard King. He's the former immigration consultant, advisor to Trump.
I don't think that I'm represented anymore.
No.
I'm not represented. So, I mean, full disclosure, I was unable to vote, to my dismay. Nina voted early, and I was in between residences. I've been living illegally in Texas like a lot of other immigrants.
You can make that
Because
joke.
I can, because I really am, because I still had a Hawaiian address, even though I was stowed away in Texas. And so I had to vote when I had to vote in the state of Hawaii. I'm still registered there, and I don't have a driver's license or an address in Texas. So I was unable to vote. And, it's kind of fitting, and I hate that because that's the first time I've not voted ever in my adult life. I was pissed off in 1992 because my birthday is November 25th, and I missed the 92 election by 2 weeks because I didn't turn 18 till the 25th of 1990. That was when Clinton beat Bush. I voted in every election and I voted 4 out of 5 midterms, all the presidential elections, local government whenever it comes up. That being said, it's funny and symbolic that I didn't get to vote this year because I was in a transition phase moving from Hawaii because I don't feel represented anyway. And they've let me down. I am a man with a transgender child. I have a non-binary child. For whatever reason, I've got 4 kids, and the good Lord sent me a transgender child and a non-binary one. And I'm just an old redneck idiot Mexican kid from Fort Worth, Texas, who went to public school and lived on the wrong side of the tracks and didn't make good grades even at public school. So I've had to teach myself about what this community is about, and I think I've done a pretty good job, and it's still an ongoing process as my kids get older. The Democratic Party has let me down as the parent of a transgender kid. Even though they all are on my side, they're so shitty at being in touch with regular Americans. Because I don't even think most people give 2 shits about about transgender kids. They don't.
No, and that's what I was saying.
They don't care. They don't care if they don't. Don't take that the wrong way. I don't mean like fuck those. I don't mean they don't care.
It doesn't affect.
It doesn't bother me.
And again, it's like I was saying earlier. It's a story of that affects 10 families in the state of Texas, but it gets the publicity of like 10,000 people are affected.
Right? Yeah, and because the liberal party, because the Democrats have become so inept at winning elections in this state, and have lost touch with what people actually care about, the things that they actually do care about en masse by the thousands and thousands. They get their ass handed to them on those topics, and that sucks. And so just by association, I've been let down. So you and I've talked about this on and off the air. My message now is for the Republican Party that runs this state, and will continue to do so for the foreseeable future.
Another 27 years,
most likely. I got to get the anti-transgender movement off the docket. We can debate all the other topics with Republicans. That's fine. We can talk everything, infrastructure, the grid, oil and gas, immigration, all of it. Get this transgender thing off the fucking docket. So I'm begging my Republican buddies to stand up and say, hey, we don't care about that, because most don't. I have tons of Republican buddies, family members. They're like, Mike, it's ridiculous what's going on. We love MJ. We love Sam. But I'm going to vote for the Republicans because them liberals are idiots, and 99% of the other things they're idiots on. And I understand. I do. And so I feel left out in the cold here.
Well, it's also
underrepresented. I'm not represented by either party right now.
It's also issues like that that get wielded as a sword to try, because that's what drives people to the polls to vote. That creating that fear that the norms you've known your whole life are being attacked, are being taken away from you. Because,
not from us. We're not attacking nobody. We just want to be treated normal.
Right.
That's it. We don't want any preferential treatment. I don't want nothing.
That message you're delivering doesn't drive people to the polls. That's what I'm saying.
Well, I don't know where it's. Okay, then
they're not going to listen to you say that. My kid's going to suffer
forever, or have to live in Hawaii forever, I guess.
I mean, I would suggest
throughout his childhood.
I would suggest certain states are obviously going to be better than others for quite a while until there's further federal intervention.
Anyway, that sucks. All right, what else? R&R Auto Glass is the official auto glass fixer-upper. Oh, look at that. Letter P bought us 20 coffees. Thank you, Letter P. R&R Auto Glass right there by the airport at 281 in Tacoma. These boys fix glass in cars. These boys, well, I say boys. Janet runs that ship. It's the boys back there in the shop, and Janet runs the front, and they handle the money. They'll fix that car quick. If you got glass busted out, chip, whatever it is you need had done, they'll fix it quick, and they will give you a Taylor Especial right there by the airport in San Antonio at 281 in Tacoma. You don't have to worry about it taking a long time. You don't have to worry about getting there. They're centrally located right by the airport, so it doesn't even matter what side of the city you live on. They're easy to get to. It's RNR Auto Glass, official auto glass repair company of this show. All right. I don't want to get all serious all night long on this.
That's the day after the election. I think
know,
there's a lot of meat
fun
on this bone.
There's some fun, though. San Marcos has decriminalized pot.
What?
Yeah. Well, I should say not all the way. It's just like it's similar laws to San Antonio now. You get pulled over with a couple of joints, you get a ticket, and they send you home. You didn't see San Marcos.
How?
Too many. Half that kid, all the kids up there smoke pot.
That's why I'm surprised they got rid of it, because that's a massive revenue generate. Like, trust me,
it's less criminal.
They got some of my revenue over the years I lived in San Marcos.
What else? That was my knee jerk. I saw that and I got excited. That's another thing. We got to get pot legal. And I've got some real liberal stances. I've got some conservative stances. And guys like me that have some stuff we like on both sides, we're completely just phased out of the scene, and it sucks.
Well, and that's
like, I want pot legal.
But that's not even
transgender kids left alone.
That's not even a liberal. That's a conservative position.
It should be.
The government should not impede a grown adult from partaking in a substance that is proven to be less dangerous to society than ones that are already legal. Like
That's
the one,
shit ton worse for
like
me than
the
a joint.
one you're holding up right now.
This is a shit ton worse.
Way
for
more
me.
deaths per year.
Belly up, bitches.
Way more long-term side effects to your health.
Yeah, somebody just bought more coffee. I think
these are not opinions for argument. Like, this is scientific fact at this point, and it's just archaic. And I think there's also some parallel to be drawn to the fact that, go back to the reason marijuana is illegal in this country in the first place. Like most of our history, there's a racist connection to the drug in and of itself, and it was protected for decades. The protection to keep it illegal, was protected for decades based on a racist myth that, the slaves of the South, the former slaves of the South that were freed, that were smoking marijuana, it was making them go crazy. And that was the major push that allowed for, it to become as illegal as it is still to this day. It's insane. The fact that it's still classified as the equivalent of ecstasy and heroin, it's
crazy.
That's insane.
I'm going to have LG pull something up. A tweet that you put out last night, which was fantastic. It was so. I dropped my phone. It was so funny. He'll put it up in a second. Okay. Yeah. So last night we did the radio show at Devil's River Distillery downtown. That's the official whiskey of the radio show. And Mike, the big boss man, had us down there. Good times. And Mike's into history, big history buff, the guy that owns Devil's River Distillery. And just for ironic purposes, he's got all this prohibition stuff put up all over the place, which is so cool as awesome. They make whiskey. It's great. And he's even like the whole distillery is LG. We got to get LG in there if he's not been. It's really cool. The whole thing, there's like upstairs, there's a speakeasy, So this is the tweet that Puma put up last night. This was on one of the walls. Puma's big giant fingers are there in the background, but look at that. That is a 100-year-old ad, a political ad that was hanging up inside the distillery. Wet or dry? Vote wet for my sake. You see the businessman. You see the businessman.
Yeah.
Vote dry for mine. You see the woman and her kids because her husband clearly has left her because he's a boozer. Shall the mothers and children be sacrificed to the financial greed of the liquor traffic? It's up to you, voter, to decide. Vote dry. It's a 100-year-old political ad. It brought some. It's funny. It's ironic. It made me feel better about maybe where my particular causes fighting this anti-transgender movement. And I never wanted this cause. It came to me. It gives me hope that in the future it'll go away. Thank you, Johnny Trucking. It won't be a problem anymore because now here I am drinking a beer, talking about our show that we did at the distillery. Do you know how inflamed this topic was? I mean, this country literally banned booze for 10 years, for fuck's sake.
Sure.
Because it caved into political pressure. And then they came to their senses and brought it back in, 32?
I've got relatives that were shot at by the Texas Rangers because they were making it illegally in
it's so
Central
bad.
Texas.
That was every bit as hot and vitriolic as Roe v. Wade. It's the GOP. I don't like calling out Republicans all the time. They're the ones that started this anti-trans movement.
But it's not about whether you like it or not. It's just about facts. I mean, again, it's like we need to get.
No, I know, but my
we
point
need
is
to get way back to basing our political arguments on.
Yeah, this is still a
substantial
nation
data.
that literally went to war with itself.
Yep.
It's a nation that saw a president assassinated, his attorney general brother assassinated 5 years later. It's been worse, but the point is we've been through these unbelievably polarizing times before. Call me naive, god dang it, but if history repeats itself, we'll find a way to find peace through these times we have it. We'll have more shit later on to fight over, but the shit we're fighting over now, somehow, some way, I think it will work itself out some way or the other. It just takes maybe in some cases a couple, 3 decades, which is unfortunate, but eventually it'll the worm will turn. But I got to rate. But my kid's 10. I got to raise him now, and so I'm hopeful for the future. But I got to do what I got to do now. This goes back to what we talked about and how to fortify schools earlier this year. You thought it was crazy, and I agree with you. I was saying make the schools as hard to get into as county jails.
That's a straw man argument. It's a straw man argument made by people that actually don't give a fuck about actually fixing anything. It's a straw man argument because they can say that.
I agree,
and
but
not
I got a
have
kid
to,
in school.
because that's something their constituents won't call them out. Oh yeah, that makes perfect. That makes sense. Let's just block the goddamn doors and they can't get in.
Right.
Why didn't we think of this sooner? That's such a straw man.
I got
argument.
kids in school now.
Right.
And that was my only point. I'm being forced to take on the straw man argument because it's the only one I've got left.
Yep. Well, it's because a large chunk of our political spectrum chooses to debate in straw man arguments and from hypocritical positions instead of actually standing on any foundational principles. And I think as much as I don't like to...
That's a drop.
That was a violent drop. As much as I don't like to say... As much as I don't like to both sides things at all, because there are absolutely, I believe, one party that's more evil overall than the other in terms of the cancerous nature of what it does to our democracy and our daily social interactions with each other as American citizens. I also do think that if we were to ever get to a situation where we were given more than a turd sandwich or a turd in a punch bowl, I think if we could ever have more options where we're not choosing between, we're basically choosing the lesser of evils.
We're voting 2 pieces of shits versus each
That's
other.
100%, and that's the issue. So when I say it's both sides, it is both sides because there's only 2 sides. That's what I mean by it. That's the issue.
I'm for. I wish
Open it up.
I wish the libertarians could make some headway, but I don't know when that's going to be.
I think there is absolutely some strategic avenue for the rise of a common sense, pragmatic third party. And I can't remember. I think I was talking to Andy about this yesterday during a break.
I'm ready to wear the jacket, baby.
See, and it's. You look at where I joke. I mean, I'm not joking. I mean it. We would be way better off if we had 7 political parties that were all getting votes.
We're better than right now.
Well, we are so polarized and we have radicalized each other so much. Like even to the point, do you remember as a kid in the mid 90s, when my dad was running campaigns and putting out yard signs and there was I never one time saw a political sign that said fuck whoever. We have signs now that say literally that's not politics. That's hatred. That's anger. That's rage. That's not politics. Rage. That's name calling. That's trolling. The party that the majority 88% of evangelical Christians in the state of Georgia vote for is the same party that sells merchandise that says, thank you, Brandon, or let's go, Brandon. Like, to making jokes about fuck you, fuck Joe Biden. Like, that's not healthy. That's not a both sides thing. Like that, the fact that we are promoting hatred and rage for each other as individuals and selling that as, well, I'm just engaging in the political process. No, you're engaging in hatred. Like
it's almost like you want a civil war. Like you want
or you just want, or you feel like you have been so neglected and put to the side by the political process for so long that finally you found a guy that said, you know what? All this shit's fucking fucked up. It's all bullshit. We got a bunch of liberal pedos running a child ring out in a pizza shop. What's this world coming to? And there's no fact checking. There's nothing that goes, combine all of our hatred that is seeped into our political. And again, like the Bernie supporter that shoots up the guy at the softball game. Like, that's insane. Like, we've done this to ourselves by allowing it to happen to ourselves. You combine that hatred that we've allowed to seep through our entire political process, and you combine that with the apathy that allowing the radicals to control the narrative creates, you've created an entire society that is only going to be dictated by who can if I can piss somebody off, I can win. If I can convince them to either hate me so much, it's the Ted Cruz effect. It's the, why does he love getting booed in public? Because it keeps him in the spotlight. That's publicity. Yeah. Why does he enjoy having beers thrown at him at a parade that he shouldn't even be in? Because that makes him the story. And then it turns around and say, look at the hatred of the left wing. Like, yeah, the dude shouldn't have thrown a beer. But again, it's almost like setting up for the scenario where you can kind of turn around and say, like, oh yeah, like, look at all this hatred that I have against me. Like, they're not like us. We're better than them. We're the real Americans that understand what's really happening to this country. We have allowed ourselves to be divided so much by the radical parts of this country. It's that awful. The thing that keeps coming back to me when I scrolled through, last night looking at specifically Facebook, because I know if I want to get the crazy batshit political takes from everyone that I grew up with, I go to Facebook. And seeing the things that people that I've known to be neighbors for 20 years are saying to each other on Facebook, it just, I never could have imagined they would say that to each other at Chachi's when we were eating the buffet on a Thursday night. You wouldn't say that to him because that's your neighbor. You went to high school with him. Your daughter's dating his son. They went to prom together junior year, but then she broke up with him and he had to go solo. See, like, we have removed so much of what makes us the best country on earth. That's the interconnectedness that when Americans are all in a room together, shit can be accomplished. There isn't this level of hatred that we've allowed has driven such a wedge between us that I don't see how people can tie together the fact that they'll fly, fuck Joe Biden flag, but then walk into a restaurant and see their liberal friend and be like, oh, how's it going, Jim? It's good to see you again. How are the kids? Like that, it's hard for me to wrap my mind around how we can have so much hatred in our hearts in the political spectrum when it's online on social media. But then when we actually run into the people that we claim are the enemy, that we claim, like I'm sitting here saying like one party's worse than the other. I don't view my parents who vote Republican as the enemy. I don't view them as the scourge of American citizenship. Like, I don't view them as something that needs to be purged from this country. And I feel like there's a large part of this country right now that thinks their neighbor is their enemy. That's scary to me. That's every time election cycle comes back around, that's the big takeaway that I have the next day, where I just sit, and even our political commentators, the way they talk about it, it's very us versus them. And the idea that these people being elected should be held accountable to fix shit instead of just owning the other party for 4 years while they're in office. Like I will say that's something like Lauren Boebert potentially losing her race. Trump won that district by almost 20 points. That is Trump country.
Colorado,
that specific district.
County.
Yeah, 12 points, not 20, I mean. If she had been halfway competent and not only priority to own the libs, she would have won that race by 6 to 8 points easily. Instead, it looks like she's probably going to lose.
Well,
that gives me some hope.
That tells me that the uber Trumpster is got even too much for even moderate folks.
And that's the takeaway from this election for me.
Beat, and that's good. Our country appears to be more purple than I thought, and that's good. I'm happy to see that. But the gal in Arizona is probably going to lose the governorship.
Carrie Lake?
The over-the-top.
Is she? I haven't seen an update yet.
Like 0.5 difference, but I thought she might roll. That's what I took from last night on a national level. That maybe we're not, this country's not going to vote for socialists, but hopefully it's also not going to vote for these authoritarians either. We got to get, somewhere in between there's the right way. I don't give a shit which party. The other thing that struck me, and it struck me because of the reaction, because I wasn't surprised in the least that Uvalde overwhelmingly voted for Greg Abbott. So many of our listeners today, if you've looked at stuff, people I want to punch.
Not just our political pundits in this state trying to think that's a valid, like that's some kind of breakthrough point to be made.
Uvalde's been red forever. I didn't bat one eye.
It's in the middle of Texas.
They're not going to, in the country, they're not going to, what are you talking about? They're going to vote for a liberal, especially Beto.
No.
God, no.
All Abbott had to do to win this election was just run the clip of Beto saying, hell yeah, I'm going to take away your guns. Boom. You lost the election. There are ways.
Just tell everybody that Beto has a D next to his name. Now, in this state, the right runs the show.
I don't agree with that. I think there are different ways to approach, because there's a lot of,
he got his ass beat by double digits. It's not just because of guns.
Yeah, but it's also the closest governor's race we've had in 4 cycles. So,
well, they keep running out shitty candidates, and this state loves Greg Abbott.
But I'm saying by that data, they've rolled out successive better candidates every election cycle since Wendy, because they've only gotten closer and closer to winning. And I still would tell you,
can only get better from Wendy.
No, you can actually do worse than Wendy. Democrats have done that too.
Oh, well, maybe they have, but not for governor. Was it Mike White? Didn't he run again?
Yep, Mike White. Yeah, not the backup Jets
I was
quarterback.
Say, he sounds like
Cowboy.
a backup quarterback.
No, but that's the thing. I think in terms of thinking of these political parties as only, Democrat or Republican, the Democrat that's sitting in Uvalde is very, very different from the Democrat sitting in New York City or Los Angeles. So, to say that Democrats can never win that election for governor in Texas, I think is extremely naive. I don't think the right type of Democrats have been put, like Wendy Davis. They really thought they were going to energize a voting base because she kept from pissing her pants. She put a diaper on and did a filibuster. They really thought that was going to be an issue that would drive moderate people like my parents to vote for her. No, right. They go more sizzle than substantial policy. And I think Beto is another example of that strategy that they've continued to plow down that road, where there are ways to discuss gun control with Texas Republicans. You're going to walk into a room You walk into a room of 10 Texas Republicans, you're going to have 3 or 4 that say absolutely not. Nothing. You can't touch anything, can't change anything. Second Amendment, when it was written, that's exactly how we're interpreting it, exactly how we should. Disregard the fact that it took multiple minutes to reload a gun back then, and now an 18-year-old can buy one and walk into a classroom and kill 19 kids in less than 5 minutes. Disregard all of that. We can't talk about it. That's 3 or 4 of the 10 in the room. The other 6 or 7 they don't want to live in this society. They don't want to live in a state where you have 3 of the worst mass shootings in our history happen in the last 2 years.
No one wants that.
And that's my whole point. We're letting the 3 people that sit there and say, fuck you for even bringing this up. We're not changing anything, and I'm not budging an inch. We're letting those people dictate the national narratives regarding our politics for both parties. And so that's where I say throwing someone like Beto in the middle of Central Texas, he's still going to find his supporters, but that's not the kind of candidate that can talk to my grandpa about anything.
Right.
Anything.
Right. All right, let's do some mail. Brought to you by JM Pool and Spa.
Mail, motherfucker.
JM Pool and Spa. That's my boy George. Also a fine radio man for Stucknut. Shout out to George and his wife and their son-in-law. They all work. It's a family-owned and operated. Fine, long-time Texas family. And they operate mostly far north San Antonio into the hill country. So if you've got a pool and a spa or both or one or the other, and you need that bad boy cleaned up for you, because it's fun to have a pool and a spa, but it sure sucks butt to have to maintenance that thing. They'll do it for you. Not the fun kind of suck butt. It's JM Pool and Spa.
I'm bringing that back.
The swimming pool and spa specialists. What, suck butt?
Yeah, that's a good one.
Well, it does suck butt.
And
not the good kind of butt suck.
My grandpa would always, if I had a bad game in basketball, Samuel, you really sucked ass tonight, boy.
Sucked ass.
He was big on the sucked ass.
Go 66. Puma was watching all the shows last week and not here. He's just a cuck. You did cuck last week. Did you learn anything observing our shows rather than participating in them?
No, like I said,
Mike's an elite talent.
Unbelievable. I just sat back and I heard 2 guys slay radio all week.
I think you're being serious.
No, I in that scenario, I can see I can see how it's me and Ted sitting in the corner watching the show take place.
Well, that's a good kind of cucking, because you're watching good stuff happen.
That's less cucking. It's more like I just busted and I took a week off and tagged out, and now I tagged back in.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. You tag back. Yeah, it's not cucking. It's catching your breath.
Catching your breath. I'm getting older these days. I can't do it like I could 10 years ago.
Oh, geez. Sam F. Rolling Stone magazine. Here. I'm not reading it again. It's lost me. Carbach beer is good. Thank you, Robert. Yeah, I mean,
they're political.
I didn't even see it sitting on the top of the can, so I fucked that up.
Rolling Stone's political coverage has
Thank
even,
you. O.J. Simpson just
God.
bought coffee. Thank you, Juice. I'm just saying. You were saying, sir? Sorry.
I got really thrown off by Juice's computer password. Did you see that?
No, I didn't. I will read those in a second.
Okay, yeah.
'Cause we always guarantee to read. If you give us money, you're guaranteed to get your shit read.
No, even Rolling Stone's political coverage has, in my opinion, really fallen flat in the front lately because
Big time.
Because they have turned more to appeasing one radical side of this country.
Yes, and I don't believe they're writers anymore. The great Matt Taibbi has just been. I don't know what happened.
I know.
Very unfortunate.
Yeah, I know.
Robert, Beto lost because he attacked with negativity too late in the game. He needed to focus to be better at beans and rice. He needs to focus on the Chicanos. Well, he called himself Beto.
He didn't call. That's a nickname given to him by
Puma
childhood.
gets so mad
because this
he's
is
already lost.
No, because listen, I'll tell you why I get so mad. Because this is the kind of shit that I fucking cannot stand. The playful
have some fun with it.
But that's not no, because here's the deal. It's sure when you say it, it's a joke. But when another person says, like, you don't know how he actually got the nickname. Oh, I don't fucking believe you. I don't believe that. He's just trying to appear Mexican. Like, even that's the issue, because
Clearly
you create this misinformation narrative about him.
At some point, you're up.
That
It's,
keeps
it's
getting-
it's on these fuckers that are misinformed.
It is, but
I'm not misinformed.
it's on them. It's on them for being misinformed, but it's also on me to not amplify misinformation.
Well, I got 4 kids. I ain't got time to raise 52-year-olds who believe everything they read on Facebook. Bet those the Buffalo Bills of Texas politics. Yeah, well, you know what he did get? He got
fair.
He did get 2 things in the last 6 years. He got
A lot of money.
got rich
Yep.
and famous.
Yep.
So bet those fine. He'll be fine.
Just like most people that get into politics, they somehow magically get out of it significantly richer than before.
Yeah. I was going to read my brother's. He's in here too. You like my brother because he's an over-the-top nihilist.
Love it.
Where'd it go? Where he talked about the death of... Oh, here we go.
The death of society.
The system is legitimate broken.
Yep,
Societal
it is.
collapse imminent.
Yep.
The GOP is evil, but the blue is completely incompetent. That last part, I mean, there's a little bit of truth in them. A little bit of truth in them jokes. That's why they're funny.
This is, again, I'll go back to being raised as religious as I was and having the Christian principles pounded into me. And as someone who now is 100% atheist, I would not want to trade the Christian childhood I had, because that taught me morals. That taught me foundational principles that made me a better person as I was growing up. But now to see an entire state of evangelical Christians vote 88% for the Republican candidate that has had multiple abortions.
Surprised it wasn't over 90.
Has not cared for the children that he has had out of wedlock. Like, all of these things that I was taught throughout my whole life are so evil, are such a deal-breaking issue, to then see a state where 88% of the quote-unquote Christians in that state literally vote for the guy that's having secret abortions instead of voting for the guy that committed his entire life to the ministry, who is a decades-long pastor.
Boom was talking about the state of Georgia.
Warnock versus Herschel.
And that fucking whack job, Herschel Walker. The fact that he's even in a runoff, that's shame.
Right. But that's I don't know how do you fix that?
Because they know they don't give a shit about the
hypocrisy?
abortions. They know he'll vote how they want him to when he gets in there.
Right.
That's what they want.
That's my whole, because then it comes back to, you're not voting for the man, you're voting for the team.
Correct.
And
he's
that-
on the team.
And that is the most
Same
toxic.
thing with Trump. Trump's
the-
got multiple wives and fucked up. They
It's
love
my
him.
whole point. That's the most toxic aspect of the transparent hypocrisy, where everyone just goes, oh, no, these are the issues that are so important to me. Oh, well, this guy's done 3 of those 5 issues, but he'll vote the way I want him to for the next 8 years.
Now,
so he's going to get my vote.
I'm not trying to be funny. I don't want you to get mad. Full disclosure, I'm the same guy that's always said, I don't give a shit. You bring the Antichrist in here. You put a star on his helmet, I'm going to root for him. Go Cowboys.
Sure, and that's
Go
different
Cowboy.
because that's sports and entertainment. And our
to
politics,
them, it is too, I think.
and
Not
that's
taken
where
seriously enough.
that's where I get back to. That's terrifying to me. The fact that we have allowed such important decisions in our country to be drilled down to basically a Sunday afternoon 3:25 kickoff between
entertaining.
Democrats and Republicans.
Johnny Truckin'. Most people care about money and Jesus than social issues. Thus, the red will always
That's
dominate
funny,
the state.
because-
Jesus and social issues are on the opposite end.
Well, it's funny that
They're
most people
competing
care about
lines.
Jesus and money, because Jesus preached against collecting wealth and accumulating massive amounts of wealth and not sharing with your community in charity and taking care of the homeless and feeding the poor. The whole line of fit a camel through the eye of a needle before you can get a rich man to heaven.
President Trump threw toilet paper at them poor Puerto Ricans. Remember, he was helping out.
Right. And again, the party that claims religion as their guiding force is also the party of big business and mass
Another
wealth.
weird thing that somehow the Democratic Party has been painted as the Antichrist sect.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Well, and again, that's the
You ought to be able to be a Christian and be a Democrat.
It's really easy to.
You ought to be able to be an atheist.
I've got a brother
and be a
who's-
Republican.
Yes. And that's where
Crazy.
But that's where I keep getting back to
They
it.
shouldn't have anything to do with each other.
Exactly. Because again, it should be about what you actually want in your leaders, not this idea or hypothetical of what you can expect them to vote for.
I'm actually going to participate in the chat.
Ooh, it's a groundbreaking moment.
I know. I just put why. Robert says, hey, why do they put blinders on horses? I just replied, why? I'll wait for his response.
What do you call two lesbians in a cabinet?
I don't know, Puma. What do you call two lesbians in a cabinet?
Liquor cabinet.
Yeah, oh, yeah, of course.
The gallery liked that one.
I liked it, too.
I thought we were just telling knock-knock jokes.
We are. I'm waiting on
stopped
Robert's answer.
You stopped the show down to respond to...
Just waiting on Robert's answers.
Literally, to just respond.
Oh, O.J. Simpson bought you a coffee. What is O.J. Simpson's computer password? ///escape.
See, and that's good comedy. We can all laugh at that. That's funny. Because it doesn't dehumanize half of your neighbors. That's good. It's a funny system.
The two-party system is about as useless as divisions and conferences in sports. Absolutely agree. Ronnie's in here. I enjoy both shows. Didn't vote because there are very few candidates that are not extreme, left or right. Need a fiscally conservative, socially liberal badass to step up. Don't know who it is, and good luck to him. The letter P bought you 20 coffees. Thank you, letter P.
I don't like the letter P.
I fear it, but he bought me 20 coffees. Primo's piece placed precariously and precisely positioned, pointed privately.
Okay.
Hit me with a bunch of P's. I like it. Let me repeat that.
Well played.
Well, y'all are rolling tonight. Primo's piece placed precariously and precisely positioned, pointed privately. Love it.
Clever.
AJ, hate the Cowboys, love y'all. That's okay. I hate the Cowboys half the time. The official Chicago policeman of the Taylor Show bought us 3 coffees. Ronnie Gibson bought us a coffee. Great show, both on radio and YouTube. Congrats, Puma, on the promotion. Very good. All right, thank you. That's it.
Thank you, fellas.
Thank you all very
Thank
much.
you, everybody.
All right, that's going to do it tonight. We did damn near an hour, and that's about all I got of this shit.
I could go 3 more hours
I know you
on this
could.
shit. I love this shit.
I'm a dreamer, and I get. There've been times where I've been completely apathetic. Puma gets mad at me on occasion, but I run hot and cold on the future. I'm just gonna keep my head down. I'm happy I've got a decent job that I like to do.
Head down, plow through.
Take care of my familia, tell a bunch of dad jokes, watch football, and let it all cave in and make the best decisions I can for all 4 of my kids. It's like funny. My girlfriend and I, we have 6 kids between us. It's like coaching a team.
Damn near Brady Bunch levels.
Yeah, 6 different ages. 6. All these, they come from multiple generations. 6 different sets of problems. 6 different sets of needs and likes and desires and vulnerabilities, and it's like we're managing all these people. So I just gotta do what I can for each kid. You know, I got 4 kids of my own. It's like Jeff Traylor. 1 kid's running backs, 1 kid's the linebackers, 1 kid's quarterbacks, 1 kid's the special teams, and I got to be able to coach all 4 of them up. You know what I mean? So. That's it. That's all I wanted to say. It is what it is. We'll do this again. So LG put this out. We'll end this way. What do you want to do? You want to talk about Monday now, or you want to wait?
Yeah, I think we should do a overreact.
Well,
on Monday.
we got a sponsor for Cowboy Show. So here's the thing. Sam and I won't be here Sunday. Our friend Russell Rush, the longtime stud DJ and celebrity over at Now 96, passed away a couple of weeks ago. His wife is having a huge ceremony for him, a memorial, a celebration for Russell on Sunday at Techport Center. And
Doors open at 2.
They do.
Service starts at 3.
Yeah,
open to the public.
Yeah, and I've never met her, but she has reached out and asked me to speak. And I could not tell her no, even though I was, so I'm going to speak Sunday. So the point is, and it's funny, and I'll tell this joke Sunday. Russell was from the Midwest. I think I've said this before. If he can hear me, and if he's aware, he's laughing his ass off because he knows how much I want to watch Cowboys-Packers. And I missed the game.
Oh, that's right.
I like it.
That's right.
He gets the last word as we argued Cowboys.
The Midwest gets the last word.
I take an E. So it is what it is. I'm honored I was asked. I'm nervous. I have no idea what I must say. I may break the ice with that Cowboy joke, but
probably a good start.
So point being, we're not going to have a Cowboys overreact Sunday because Puma and I will be at the memorial. So we're thinking maybe do one Monday because we got a sponsor.
That'd be good.
Although I'm pretty sure Mr. Wood would let us off the hook one game. What do you want to do, LG?
I think we should do it just so
We
we
can
don't have a
Cowboy show.
glaring hole in our 17 weeks of
All right,
perfection.
let's do a Cowboy show Monday night.
Hey, you want some breaking news?
Yeah.
Thea's wanting to FaceTime again.
Who?
Oh yeah, we're not going for that.
Oh, the girl from Indonesia.
It's popping up on my screen too.
Oh,
Time to go.
LG's got to get
us out of here,
LG's got
LG.
a phone call to take.
Get us out.
All right,
of here.
love y'all hard. Thank you so much. Love everybody. Don't give a shit who you vote for. We can debate these things, and we hope we don't run you off. It is what it is.
We're not the enemy, neither are you.
God, no.
Just
we
can
need
we
to
all
stay
talk
together.
again?
Fuck these far left. Fuck these assholes with all the power on either end of the spectrum.
Fuck this
If
fucking
we just keep talking, at some point this shit we can help turn something maybe.
I'd like to believe
All
that.
right, love y'all hard. Thank you to DJ LG. Thank you to Puma. So we'll do this on Monday. We'll do a Cowboys show. We'll do an Overreact Cowboys update show Monday night, 8:30. What do you say? All right,
Sounds
cool.
good.
All right, see y'all Monday night at
Good to be
8:30.
back.
Love y'all. See you hard. Love you. See you hard. Okay, yeah, fine. Love you.
Checks.
Hard. Yeah.
Come back, you puppy!
Mike Taylor Live is presented by Texas Cheer Liquor.